By breaking down the barriers to free trade and developing the economies of poor nations, the International Chamber of Commerce believes the world will be a stronger and better place to live. The group that originally referred to itself as the Merchants of Peace is looking to spread its vision around the globe.
Arbitration has become the favorite, if not really the exclusive way of dealing with disputes in the international field.
Ultimate objective is the businessmen, the SMEs that the chambers have in their membership. We help the chambers so they can help their membership and provide more service.
Reflections of a world that call for decisive action from all stakeholders to forge a positive path for development in the face of vast challenges and uncertainties.
The International Chamber of Commerce Sri Lanka is the national office of the Paris-based business organization. The ICC comprises of membership of 45 million members in 130 countries. Trade facilitation, export and import and cross-border trade and issues relating to freight forwarding and many other matters of importance are addressed by the ICC. ICC Sri Lanka works through several committees to debate, discuss and suggest solutions on subjects related to the mandate of the Chamber. Each of these commissions are led by professionals in the committee, with many committees functioning. ICC includes a membership committee, International Relations Committee, Policy and Advocacy Committee, Training and Development Committee, Banking Committee. ICC is the sole authorized guaranteeing agency for ATIA Carnets, an internationally accepted customs document which enables duty-free and tax-free temporary importation of items as commercial samples. The ATIA Carnet reduces costs and red tape. The ICC is also known for its popular publications invaluable for bankers, lawyers, arbitrators and anyone involved in cross-border trade. Its members are provided with a member's privilege card which includes discounts with multiple retailers. ICC Sri Lanka's vision is to be the organization of choice to advance international trade and investment for businesses in Sri Lanka. ICC Sri Lanka's mission is to be the change agent in national policy formulation and implementation and facilitator of global businesses with Sri Lanka and disseminator of information on the development of business utilizing the services of ICC Paris while continuing to be a facilitator of dispute resolution. In addition, the ICC Sri Lanka organizes seminars, lectures, meetings with business leaders, and gives recognition to Sri Lankan businesses for outstanding achievements. ICC can play a special role in connecting business to the world and be a driving force for all Sri Lankan businesses.
Good afternoon. I'm Shanil Fernando, Secretary, International Chamber of Commerce, Sri Lanka. Welcome to the ATA Carnet webinar. People who are not aware of ICC Sri Lanka branch, it's a branch of the ICC Paris. ICC operates in 30 countries with 48 million members around the world. I'm pleased to introduce a distinguished panel from overseas and Sri Lanka for this webinar. Let me introduce Ms.Yuan Chai. She's joining us all the way from France, Paris. She's the head of ATA Carnet at the ICCA Carnet Secretariat. Ms. Yuan Chai is a Chinese national, joined the Paris-based International Chamber of Commerce, ICC, in 2016 as the ATA Carnet manager. She is responsible for the daily operations of the Secretariat of the ICC WCF World ATA Carnet Council, which currently consists of 78 national guaranteeing associations. They are called NGAs, affiliated to the ICC WCF ATA International Guarantee Chain. Her main activities are coordinating among members for business, cooperation, and compliance, and supporting ICC and the WATAC leadership to advance Carnet digitalization, unification, standardization in order to ensure the sustainability of the ATA Carnet system. Prior to joining ICC, Ms. Yuan served for 12 years at the China Council for Promotion of International Trade, China Chamber of International Commerce, CCOIC. She started her Carnet issuing claim officer and the international coordinator in 2004. After 10 years service, she became the deputy director of the ATA Carnet division, managing 69 regional issuing officers at that time in China. Ms. Yuan studied in Beijing and Sydney, and her background includes a Master of Commercial Law completed in Sydney, a Bachelor of Laws and Legal Profession Qualification Certificate granted in China. Let me now introduce Mr. KSP Javardhana, Deputy Director of Customs. I can see quite a few customs gentlemen are in the panel. It's very nice to see all of you all there. And Mr. Indra Kirti, Director Trade Facilitation of the Trade Information Department of the Export Development Board, Sri Lanka. Mr. Tilak and Mr. Ajit Sirivardhana, Superintendent of Customs attached to the National Gem and Jewelry Authority of Sri Lanka. Mr. Tilak Veerasinghe, Chairman, National Gem and Jewelry Authority. And also Mr. Namus Azmi, Director, New World Gems Private Limited, and Treasurer, Sri Lanka Gem and Jewelry Association. Mr. Indra Kirti, Director, Trade Facilitation and Trade Information, to date the Director of Trade Facilitation and Trade Promotion at the EDB. So since we have introduced the panel, we will request Ms. Yuan Chai to do a presentation on ATA, and after that we will have a panel discussion, and the questions can be referred to our ICC Facebook, which is now live, and anybody can view this from the ICC webpage or the Facebook. Thank you. Ms. Yuan, it's for you to start on the presentation.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Please let me know whether you can see it. Can you?
We can see.
Okay. So, good afternoon, everyone. This is Yuan Chai speaking. I'm from the ICC Paris headquarters. Today, my topic covers ATA general information, the benefits, and also I would like to introduce the EATA project that currently ICC is working with WCO, the World Customs Organization. And also I will give some reminders about how to mitigate the risk of during the COVID-19 crisis. And also just to share some basic information about the impact of Brexit. So It's very brief, like introduction about ATA. I believe most of the audience probably you have already know the idea. So what is ATA? As you can see, it's a document. It is an international customs document that permits duty-free and tax-free of movement of goods for up to 1 year. It is created in 1960s, so to now it has like more than 60 years. It was established under the WCO ATA Convention, and later on in 1990s, there's a new convention called Istanbul Convention. The ATA actually is an acronym of French word Mission Temporaire and English word temporary admission. So basically, it allows duty-free movement of goods for up to 1 year, and it also replaces the national declaration forms. So it is also called the passport. As you can imagine, for travelers, you need a passport for your home, for yourself. You carry goods, then you need a passport for goods. So basically, use an ATA card. Your goods may enter multiple countries, multiple trips, and without paying duties and taxes in a predefined period. And it contains declaration forms ready to use at borders. This is the benefits for ATA. So imagine if you don't have ATA, of course, each country has their own legislation for temporary import, but you will need to fill out forms at each border. You need to pay a tax or the duty deposit at each border. If you are visiting, for example, 3 countries in a row, and then it means you have language obstacles for sure. And also you need to pay deposit at each border. You will never know how much you need to pay at the borders and how long it will take for customs to refund the duties deposit. So with ATA Carnet, all formalities are prepared in your own country. You pay a deposit or guarantee to your National Guarantee Association, and order. You don't need to bother to pay duties and prepare forms to deal with all. That's the general benefits for ATA. So ATA system is an international customs, special customs regime. It is currently operated in 78 countries and customs territories. So basically, ATA Carnet covers almost everything except consumable or perishable goods, because in principle, ATA Carnet, the goods under ATA Carnet should be re-imported back to the home country without any change or financial gain. This is the idea of temporary admission. If you are in, for example, your goods is for sale, then you can use it. And then customs authority. There are 78 countries custom territory accept ATA, but customs accept ATA Carnet based on the convention, the intended use that they ratified. Under the Istanbul Convention, there are 11 annex explaining the intended use of ATA goods. So within the 11 categories, the most common usage is the, for example, goods for exhibitions and fairs. People are taking your goods for exhibitions, that's okay. For commercial samples, professional equipment. So basically customs, they can choose from the 11 categories. When you apply a Carnet, please consult your issuing association. They will tell you, or they will identify whether the country of destination will allow the use of ATA for that category of intended use. And everyone can benefit from ATA Carnets for individuals, for SMEs, for major leading companies. So this is really a tool to facilitate trade, and everyone can benefit from the ATA procedure. And just to share you the organization of the ATA system, for each country, when they want to join the Istanbul ATA system, the country of customs, they need to be a member of the World Customs Organization and join the Istanbul Convention or ATA Convention. And then the National Customs Authority need to find and appoint a National Guarantee Association who will guarantee the import duties and taxes. And then the National Guarantee Association need to join ICC in order, and there is a guarantee chain, which means National Guarantee Association will extend their guarantee to each other so they can cooperate with each other for claims in case of misuse of ATA. And then when the NGA joined the international chain, ICC will notify WCO, WCO will notify customs authority around the world, and then the border office will be instructed to start accepting ATA Carnet from the new destination. And then from that moment, the National Guarantee Association may issue carnets to the local business. And if they wish, they can also authorize several issuing agents or issuing offices under its umbrella. So this is the organizational charter for the operation of ATA. And as you can see, ATA is the passport for goods that the companies or individuals will be able to benefit from it. And then there's a concern, there's a question whether customs are safe when adopting the ATA system. The answer is yes, for sure, because there's a special guarantee chain dedicated to the operation of ATA. Customs interest for the import duties. For example, if there is a misuse for ATA Carnet, imagine Sri Lanka Customs, for example, discovered that a Swiss company, a holder, failed to re-export his good out of the country. And then in that case, customs would need to get the import duties. And in that case, the holder, of course, it's not convenient for customs to get the foreign holder or the foreign NGA. So this is why the ATA is also welcomed by custom officials, because once a claim need to be opened, the customs at Sri Lanka just need to inform the NGA in Sri Lanka, which means the ICC Sri Lanka. And then from that moment, ICC Sri Lanka will coordinate with the National Guarantee Association in Switzerland, and the Swiss NGA will coordinate with the holder. And they have 6 months to provide evidence of re-exportation, because sometimes a claim can be raised by mistake or something. So NGA and holders, they have 6 months to provide evidence. If beyond that period there's no evidence, then ICC Sri Lanka need to pay customs. Sri Lanka customs. And then ICC Sri Lanka will be able to get a refund, reimbursement from the NGA in Switzerland. And then this NGA in Switzerland will be able to get actual payment from the holder. Because before each carnet can be issued, the NGA has already got a security from the holder. So basically they can reimburse the Sri Lanka NGA without any problem. If there's a balance, they will be able to get the balance from the holder because they have a contract before the issuing of ATA carnet. This is the claim flow and the reimbursement flow, which give customs the assurance, like in case of misuse, custom will always be able to get duties and taxes from the NGA that they choose. And then all the formalities, procedures will be followed by the NGA. So for custom, it's save time and it's also secure. So that is why it's very important to have a guarantee chain. So which means the NGA, they can trust each other. They work under the same procedure and with someone to monitor the performance. This is why ICC is the international body to supervise the performance of each NGA and to make sure the safety of the chain. From ICC side, we have established standard working procedure for claim operation, and we monitor the compliance. And if some NGA does not fulfill their obligations, then ICC will be the body to intervene and make sure everyone work under the same procedure without delay in payment. And also ICC established 5-layer risk control measures to keep the chain safe. For example, for each NGA, they need to sign agreement with ICC, protocol statements, and they also need to provide a guarantee to ICC, just in case the NGA does not function well, and then we can call on their guarantor. And also we generate guarantee fund within the ATA fee that NGA paid to ICC. And also ICC purchased a global insurance to cover this. And eventually, if some NGA do not fulfill their obligations, we can always suspend the NGA and stop the operation of ATA system in that country. So this is risk management. Now, you will see some statistics. This is the issuing statistics in the last 27 countries, years. You will also see most of Carnets issued in the world are actually from Europe. It's almost like 50%, but Asia is catching up quickly. So that's why I'm very glad to be invited to this workshops webinar. I hope after this event, more and more Sri Lankan exporters will be able to benefit, will know more about ATA and benefit from the system. Now I'm working on a digital project, which the goal is to digitize the paper-based Carnet into the digital version. I'm not going to introduce very detailed because I'm not the IT specialist, but the main idea is to provide, simply to say it in a simple way, we will provide a mobile app to Carnet holders. From the left, you can see this is the mobile app. The holder will be able to use it to download the digital Carnet, and they will be able to declare goods using the app. And in the middle, you will think this is a website we developed for customs authority. So when customs authority receive an ATA declaration, they can monitor, they can commit transactions using the online system. And the right-hand side is a global database like we developed for ICC and NGA. So basically, this is the three user interface like included in this ecosystem. This is we are now in a pilot phase. We have chosen 6 pilot countries in cooperation with the World Customs Organization, because you can see this is a customs document. So we need to work with customs, chambers, holders all together. We have chosen 6 pilot countries. Among the 6 countries, there are 4 countries already implemented the pilot phase. In Switzerland, the first digital Carnet transaction was committed on the 20th of October 2019. And after that, Belgium, China, Russia has started to accept digital Carnet for the pilot phase. And for US and UK, they are preparing for the pilot project to start in their country. Now you will see, I would like to show a very brief video so you can have a better understanding about what can be done from the holder side. So this is the basic idea for the EATA project. The next steps, of course, we are in a pilot stage. After the pilot, we need to get formal adoption for each country to activate the use of EATA. Also, we need to do marketing and to continue the development and add functions. This is the idea for the EATA, and now I would like to introduce something about the impact of the COVID-19 crisis. As you all know, like in last year, almost every country are affected by the COVID crisis. A lot of discussion has been made at ICC level and also the World Customs Organization, because we noticed that there are kind of like challenges for Carnet holders and NGA during the crisis. For example, it's sometimes with the border closure and confinement requirements at each country, it's kind of difficult to follow the period for re-exportation. And also in some countries, if Carnet holder would not be able to re-export within the validity of the ADA Carnet, some customs do not accept replacement Carnet to extend the validity of ADA. And also the service capacity at customs side and at chamber side are also affected. That's why we communicate with WCO. We ask whether customs authority at national level, they can grant greater facilities to give some to tolerate certain delays of the due to the COVID-19 crisis. WCO has already issued a recommendation to national customs, encouraging customs authority to think about greater facilities. We have received some communication from national custom authorities. For each country, of course, it's their decision, and they need to find a proper way to monitor and to solve the incidents. And we received 22 communications from national level. And if you are a holder and if you have encountered some issues or you have some questions, please consult ICC Sri Lanka. They will be able to find all this information. We have circulated the communications. At this stage, I would like to remind holders to pay attention to certain criteria when you use ATA. So please always check and follow the time limits for re-exportation. You have the time limits when you declare to customs at the country of import. The customs authority will give you a deadline for re-exportation. Please check the record in your Carnet and always follow that record, follow the time limits. You will also have a time limit for re-importation. It was given by, in your case, Sri Lanka customs at the time when you do the exportation. Please follow the time limit to bring your goods back. And you also need to pay attention to the validity of your Carnets, like the total deadline. If you can't follow the time limits, if you wish to extend the time limits, you have to apply to customs and NGA in order to extend time limits. It's not something you can just totally ignore. If you need to extend the time limits, please make sure to make application in advance. Don't wait until after the time limit expires. And you need to make sure you have the official endorsement from customs authority for the extension. And during the COVID-19 crisis, for any incidents, please consult customs authorities and national guarantee associations immediately so you can get advice how to deal with this situation. If temporary admission conditions have been violated for whatever reason, please keep the NGA informed, provide evidences as much as possible, and be prepared for the potential claims. Please remember, if a claim has been opened, the final decision of the regularization can only be made at the customs authority. And now, just to give you some basic idea about Brexit. As you know, on the 31st of December 2020, the transition period for the UK withdrawal from the EU end, which means from the 1st of January 2020, UK is considered a third country to EU. EU legislation is no longer applicable in UK. In the past, before the end of the transition phase, when UK is still a part of EU, goods under ATA Carnets can move freely from the UK to EU 27 countries without additional formalities, and vice versa. For example, before this year, the Sri Lanka goods visiting the EU 27 and the UK, one set of importation and re-exportation vouchers will be enough, but it's no longer the case from the 1st of January this year. From the 1st January 2021, the UK is treated as any other non-EU country. In particular, customs procedures and formality now apply to trade between the UK and EU. In terms of ATA Carnet, if your goods need to move from EU27 to UK or vice versa, holders shall make sure to declare to customs at the border offices, and also make sure you have enough sufficient vouchers within your Carnet to complete the formality. For example, last year, when you apply a Carnet to visit EU27 and UK, you probably only applied for one pair of import voucher and re-export voucher. But if you need to visit UK this year, since it's already considered a third country, then you need extra vouchers. Please consult ICC Sri Lanka if you need additional vouchers to see whether you can get extra at this moment from this year. And there is a special case for the North Island because of the protocol on Ireland and North Island, and EU custom rules and procedures generally continue to apply in North Island, which means if your goods are going to move from EU27 to North Island is part of UK, but North Island will still apply EU legislation. So if your goods only visit after the goods entered into EU and you will visit North Island, then you don't need additional forms. But if you need to go through North Island to the UK, then you need an additional pair of declaration forms. So this is a very special case for the North Island. And we are now still waiting for some clear guideline or guidance from UK customs and EU customs in order to know to deal with practical issues, because as you know, this is something new, a new application for the new for ATA system in the UK and EU. So there are some practical issues unsettled at this moment. For example, which borders operate ATA, etc. So we will notify ICC Sri Lanka when things are clear, and then ICC Sri Lanka will be able to help the local business to give you accurate recommendations. This is the basic ideas about Brexit. I think this is all from my part. Yeah, this is all. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms.Yuan Chai, for an excellent presentation that you made. Now I would request Mr. Jayawardena, Director of Customs, presently attached to the Motor Vehicles Division, to share some thoughts of yours, especially your experiences in this area from the Customs.
Yes, I think the Carnet, ATA Carnet are mostly used in the GEM unit. So I think Mr. Ajit Sirivardhana will explain the criteria of the unit.
Yeah. Mr. Sirivardhana, over to you, Mr.
There's a one issue because we don't know. I'm now in a now I only know that there is some connection with NGJ, some contract with NGJ and the IC and customs, but we have to get time clarified on this line, right? Anyway, because of COVID situation, our transaction, a lot of transaction is way down. Now I think transaction is zero level in operation. I don't know what sort of benefit get from that connection of NGJ.
Yeah, can Ms. Yuan Chai explain that?
Sorry, from my side, I can't hear clearly. Could you please repeat the question?
Yeah, Mr. Sirivardhana is asking what's the connection with the NGA and so on. Can I just explain if I don't know whether I'm right or not, but after that, I think you can make a comment on that. Well, the NGA is the guaranteeing organization. Every country, now this Carnet can be issued only from the ICC, not any other chamber can issue this. Secondly is that we take a bank guarantee or a deposit. So basically we are the guaranteeing authority for Sri Lanka. So if they don't pay, now it goes to China, and then if they sell the products and then if it is not paid, then we pay the Chinese customs. So I'm sure Ms. Chai can explain to you further on this area.
Yeah, stakeholders in each country. As I said, for ICC, we are the international organization monitor the ATA guarantee chain, which is a risk management scheme. And in each country, there is only one national guarantee association, who is the guarantor to custom authority. And within the country, under the National Guarantee Association, if the NGA and custom agree, they can authorize like issuing offices to actually issue and deliver the service, but there can be only one National Guarantee Association. The National Guarantee Association is chosen by customs because it's the guarantor for customs, and the NGA need to be ICC member. That's the principle. And to issue a Carnet to local holders, there's one, the basic idea is that there needs to be a contract, a very well contract between the issuing association, National Guarantee Association, and the holder, which means the holder is actually user of Carnet, they are the exporter, and in case of violation, of course, the holder is liable for duties and payment. And the guarantee association, because they are the guarantor, of course, they are liable jointly, but eventually the payment should be from the liabilities is with the holder. The guarantee association, before each Carnet can be issued, the guarantee association will require. So in terms of the NGA will be able to determine accept deposit guarantee or other type of insurance, like the insurance policy, for example. So it's the NGA's decision what type of security they would be able to accept from the holder. So this is the principle. But from ICC side, we each NGA, they have signed a contract, a statement, saying before each Carnet can be issued, they have required and they have got a security from the holder. So in case it's used, they will be able to pay and they will be able to get between the national
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much, Ms.Yuan Chai, for that. Any other comments from the Sri Lankan customs side or any questions?
There is a main problem that most of the countries issued Carnets, but those goods, the respective goods are not come with a holder of a Carnet. They use the Carnet instead of the importation.
Yes.
Not a goods carried with a holder. They mainly use it as a use for the importations.
Yes.
So we can't allow those such Carnets because there is no holder. Carnet holder. There is no Carnet holder from with the goods.
Sorry if I may answer this question. For each Carnet, when it issued in the box A, there is a name of the Carnet holder.
Yeah.
For the means of transport, Carnet can be carried with passengers. So you will see the holder or his representative at the border. And Carnet can also be used for cargo service. For example, the holder can send the Carnet to a broker to custom-free forwarder, and then to send the goods by shipment. And then when the goods arrive at the border, the broker will bring the carnet to customs to clear the cargo. So it's both possible with hand-carried goods and with the cargo goods.
Well, it's not mandatory for the cargo holder to be there at the time of going through the customs, isn't it?
Carnet can be used by either the holder or his representative. In case the holder is not there, he can authorize a person to declare the goods on his behalf. So you will find a box B in the green cover of ATA. It's the representative, the name of the representative. If the name is not filled in, you can always ask the power of attorney, the letter of authorization, so you can determine whether it's correct, the declaration.
Can you appoint a domestic person or organization as a representative of the carnet holder?
It's quite normal practice. For example, I'm a Chinese holder, and then because I'm not going to personally visit Sri Lanka, so I authorize another person to declare on behalf of me, and then I issue a power of attorney, letter of authorization to this person. It could be a Chinese person, it could be a Lanka person. It doesn't matter as long as it has the proper
necessity of power of attorney.
Yeah.
No, not for registered companies in Sri Lanka.
It could be a company in Sri Lanka or a person in Sri Lanka. As long
but in the carnet, you have not mentioned that company's name.
If there are normally mentioned in carnet box B. So in the green cover, the box A is the place to mention the carnet holder, the holder's name. Box B, the name of the representative. If the representative is unknown at the time of issue, the holder will be able to issue a separate letter of authority. Letter of authorization.
Is that sufficient?
Sorry?
Is that letter sufficient to claim when applicable? Is that letter is sufficient? Because it does not mention in the carnet HB, but there is only letter instead of the carnet certificate. So is that sufficient to pay the applicable amounts if we claim it from you?
If you have doubts regarding the letter of authorization, you can always contact the NGA. The NGA will be able to get kind of a clarification from the holder to give you reassurance whether it's a valid letter of authorization. Because normally you can verify the signature from the holder, whether the letter of authorization is valid or not. So basically, and normally the chamber will mention one sentence in box B that any authorized representative.
That means, I mean, liabilities goes to NGJ for all payments and guarantees.
The ATA
instead of, I mean, ICA Colombo, that's all, I mean, authorities goes to NGJ.
So the Carnet is a guarantee.
Yeah, Carnet liabilities goes to NGJ. I mean, if there any payment arise, right, to the, I mean, the country customs, right, that liability goes to NGJ.
Mm-hmm.
NGA, yes. The National Guarantee Organization guarantees that the payment will be made to the if it is violated or if the period is gone and so on.
Anyway,
isn't that right?
Yeah. In this nature, we have to get, I mean, clarification from the our LU, I mean, legal division, because I mean, in the according to a convention, we have only the connection ICA and the I mean the other country customs, right? First of all, we have to get the clarification from our customs LU. Convention is, I mean, Concern the ACC.
It is the father also
Is there
that
third party?
the
I mean, come between.
purpose of importation of goods is differ from the scope of the Article 2 of Chapter 2. They import goods for the purpose of any other purposes mentioned in the Article 2 of the Chapter 2 of the Convention, Annexure B1. Is it permitted by the NGA?
I think there is a communication problem there, so we can take it later on, and we'll give you the information so that you can. Yes. So can we now pass on the panelist, Mr. Tilak Veerasinghe and Mr. Nauz Asmi to speak a few words.
What is NG? What is NG?
Good afternoon. Hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes. Good afternoon. Ms.Yuan, ATA Carnet, manager of ICC Paris World ATA Carnet Council, and Mr. A.M. Sanil Fernando, Honorable Secretary, ICC Sri Lanka, and ladies and gentlemen. As the chairman of National Gem and Jewellery Authority of Sri Lanka, I am honored to be part of this important webinar, which will help to increase international trade. Actually, I am most thankful to ICC for the supporting our industry since the initiation of ATA Carnet facility to enter market such as China, which promoted our industry. However, I would like to make few suggestions to improve gem and jewelry trade facilitation to increase international promotion. Okay.
Hi, I would like to just elaborate on what Chairman is trying to say. ATA is been a very supportive, facilitator to promote gem and jewelry industry in countries like China, also a couple of countries like Germany and France, where is a huge tax barrier for our industry. So, however, there are some issues that we have foreseen in through this COVID situation. Even though ICA help us to facilitate to get the barriers in, we find our members find, our gem dealers find that ICCA charges about 1% of the value of our export as a non-refundable fee. However, we see that for the members, you have a special rate. So I would suggest and request ICC Sri Lanka to write to France, and also we have Ms.Yuan here, and she will get our message that try to give a special rate at this this pandemic moment to
Sorry, you are on mute.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can.
Okay. Okay. Talk to other countries like China to work on a special tariff rate.
You're on mute again.
I think there is some technical problem coming up.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Can we come back to you after speaking to the EDP gentleman?
Sure. Fine. Thank you.
Yeah. Mr. Indra Kirti, are you there? Oh. Yeah, he seems not to be in the seat. Yeah. Any more questions from the custom side? Mr. Indrakirti, can you is there any
Really, I have good comments more than questions and issues.
Yeah, please go ahead.
We are very happy to have you in this discussion and inviting us to join with the other panelists, and really appreciate this because custom and NGG, because our gem and jewelry sectors is mostly use your service, and we have that the facilitation service to resolve issues and all. But we are getting very less amount, the number of issues in relation to the ICC that, the Carnet. And fortunately, NGJA, Gem and Jewelry is there aside to support the gem and jewelry sector. So that may be the reason that they are not very much, focus to the EDB to submit their issues. Thanks, Gem and Jewelry Authority and the customers as well, because they are the another party support EDB to the resolve and support exporters. And the other thing is, I have a small the question. Say either major concern the exporter should be focused on to mitigate any the obstacles, between the ICC in this regard and the exporter. And another small suggestion, I believe that if we can give a good awareness session in most understandable language to our export sectors about your service, the EDB can support you to take you to join with our weekly webinar session to have the webinar to the export community. So that's my concerns, and thank you very much. Shiran, we cannot hear you.
Well, ICC will be very happy to join up with the EDB. In fact, we have created a post for the EDP Director General to be on our board, including the BOI chairman is on the board of ICC now, and the stock exchange DG as well. I think now we can, I think our communication issue has been sorted out. Mr. Nafsuz Azmi, I think you can speak now. Can you, Mr. Azmi, can you hear us? Yeah.
Thank you, Sonal. Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah. Yes.
Chairman just walked out for a small work. He'll be back. So I was trying to explain, like, we try to see at this moment, at this junction, gem and jewelry industry is stuck. Our industry has been the first industry to hurt when this COVID came, and I think we're going to recover the last, because nobody want to buy anything at this moment unless getting into really happy moment. So we really need help from the facilitator like ICC Sri Lanka, and also I request the Carnet office in France to try and think and special rate for our people, especially the ATA is being used frequently by the gem and jewelry industry. If you take Sri Lanka, we are the main industry used frequently, and but if you take my company, I've been dealing with ICC Sri Lanka from 2008. So you can see how far we have been involved in this Carnet certification. So I see as a customer, I would say that we need in future for you all to lobby the agencies to promote ICC by reducing their rates. Let's say, for example, there are countries like Russia though we have the Carnet facility, to get into Russia with a proper channel, it's very difficult, and it's a very lucrative market. So if ICC can sort out matters with them to facilitate, and straighten out business delegation to enter with proper, easy way of conducting business with Russia, or some of the countries which are not actively involved in ICC Carnet programs. Even though they are members, they are not active. So that is one of the suggestions that I was thinking. Also, I would request the custom officers, now that already they are there, that to have a special, officer or the same officer who's there, who's really busy over there. I know they are helping us all the time. So have signed the documents when they're coming back, because most of the time it happens, the signing is done at German Jewelry Authority, but there are some incidents that where if we can facilitate at that airport would be nice. That's all from my side. Thank you.
So I think we have received a few questions. These are because we have advertised this on the Facebook and the LinkedIn, and we have received them. So maybe, yes, sir, you want to, any comments from the customs again?
Yeah, we want to clarify a matter, the word NGA.
Yeah.
That is, the NGA in Sri Lanka is a different authority from the ICC Sri Lanka or no?
No. NGA is the National Guarantee Agent Authority, or the agent for ICC Paris. So normally it is the ICC office in that particular country. Now it is operating in about 78 countries, and it's the in Sri Lanka it's the ICC. Now in China it's the CICC, the Chinese ICC, and like similarly wherever the ICC office is there, they are the people who can issue. It's only the ICC. No other chamber can issue this Carnet document. It's only through a ICC or their representative agent who can issue this.
So can I say this, then ICC is the NGA in Sri Lanka?
That's
ICC.
right. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Is that, I'm sure Ms. Chai is...
ICC...
yeah, you can clarify that if I'm wrong on that, yeah.
ICC, the International Chamber of Commerce, is the organization monitoring the global guarantee chain. And at each country, the NGA, the National Guarantee Association, is chosen by customs authority. They have the authorization from appointment from customs. There should be a kind of agreement between the NGA. The NGA in many countries, they are ICC branch offices because NGA need to be ICC countries. And within the country, some countries, there are ICC branch offices in there. And they, of course, they can be the NGA if the custom authority gives the authorization. And in some countries, there is no national committee in that country from ICC. And there are other chambers. Customs may also authorize the chamber. That's the, how to say, the appointment from the customs side. And the NGA must be ICC member. That's the requirements. For ICC Sri Lanka, I think from the start, it has been authorized as the National Guarantee Association from the Sri Lanka side. So in each country, there can be only one NGA. That's the principle.
Okay, can I move to the questions? There are a few questions that we have received. Can we extend the validity of the Carnet?
I think the question is about the issuing fee. I guess the question is about the processing fee and the security charged by ICC Sri Lanka, right?
No, normally I believe the question is where the Carnet is valid for 1 year and is extended for the 2nd year. Supposing now you bring a project cargo and the project is not over and they have to extend it for a 3rd year, can it be extended?
Within the convention, the validity of Carnet is up to 12 months. So the original Carnet, the validity can be up to 1 year. Yeah. And then 1 year is not sufficient enough, it's not enough, and the holder would like to extend the stay of goods in a foreign country. Then this is a question whether the foreign country accepts a replacement Carnet. Replacement Carnet means it replaces the original. All the contents should be the same except the validity date. The validity date will be extended for another year. So this is a decision at the foreign country. If they are contracting party to the Istanbul Convention, then the Article 14, there's Article 14 within Annex A of the Istanbul Convention, which allow customs to accept replacement carnet. So before the issuing of a replacement carnet, the holder should consult the customs authority at the country of import first to see whether they accept replacement carnet. If the answer is yes, then the holder should apply a replacement to the issuing office in Sri Lanka. So this is the idea. Whether the second replacement, because the replacement carnet can extend for another 12 months. If you need a second replacement, this is something the convention didn't say. So it's the customs decision whether it's possible to accept the second replacement or not. So basically, the idea is like the 1 year is the maximum validity for each carnet. If you need to extend the validity, you need a replacement. Not every country accepts a replacement. So please make sure to consult the customs authority in the country of import. With the pre-approval, apply a replacement from your issuing chamber.
The second question we have received is what happens if the carnet holder loses the carnet document? Sometimes by courier or whatever, they lose the document. Then do you all issue a duplicate carnet document?
Yeah, if the carnet has been lost or destroyed or whatever reason, and then also in the Istanbul Convention under Article 14, it is possible to issue a duplicate carnet. So basically, there are two types of special carnet. One is replacement in order to extend the validity of ATA. One is sometimes it's also called replacement, but the intention is to replace the one has been lost or something. So we also call it like duplicate. So replacement to extend the validity, duplicate to replace the one has been lost, has been stolen or whatever reason. In that case, the validity will be the same. Everything will be same as the original.
So the third question is what happens if the goods are lost or stolen in transit? When you're issuing a carnet, you give a guarantee and so on, and then it's stolen or lost.
In case the goods has been lost, then this is the risk for the holder. You should have, for example, an insurance to cover the risk of stolen or something. But in that case, if the goods has been imported into the country of importation, for example, Sri Lanka goods has been imported into China and the goods lost in China, and China customs will claim the import duties. Then you will have to pay. Your loss has to be covered by a separate like insurance for the goods itself. ATA is the guarantee for import duties. It's not guaranteed to cover your risk for stolen or something.
There is another question. Can the holder add items or remove items from the carnet once it has been issued? As far as I know, you cannot change. It can be done once it is issued. Yes.
No.
Under what conditions might a claim be filed on the carnet?
Sorry?
When there is a claim, say the carnet, they have violated the carnet conditions and there is a claim on it. Under what conditions, if you give a few examples or explain how a claim is processed?
So there's a timeline for customs within the convention. There is a timeline for customs to open a claim. For example, you issue a carnet, there is a 12 months validity. And customs has 1 year, 12 months upon the expiration of the carnet to open the claim. For example, from the date of issue until the end of the 2-year period, the customs office will be able to raise a claim. And once a claim has been issued, the custom will notify the NGA in its own country. For example, Sri Lanka custom, when you open a claim, you notify ICC Sri Lanka. ICC Sri Lanka will notify the country of issue. For example, if it's a carnet from China, then ICC Sri Lanka will notify CCOIC, which is the Chinese chamber. And then from the date when customs open the claim, the NGA will have 6 months to provide you the evidence of re-exportation. So this is a 6 months proof submission period. Upon the expiry of these 6 months, which means there is no evidence of re-exportation, there is no evidence of re-importation, because sometimes customs may open a claim because they can't find the record of re-exportation. In that case, the NGA, of course, they sometimes will be able to provide you the Carnet endorsed to show the goods actually has left Sri Lanka. Sometimes they have alternative proofs. For example, the re-importation counterfoil, which means goods has been re-imported back to China. So either direct evidence or alternative evidence. If they have any type of evidence, they need to submit the evidence within a 6 months period. If there is no evidence within the 6 months, then customs may issue the invoice, notify the total amount of duties and tax which become payable after the 6 months. And then ICC Sri Lanka will need to pay Sri Lanka customs right away, and then send the proof of payment to the NGA in the country of issue, for example, in China. And the Chinese chamber will have 2 months to reimburse ICC Sri Lanka. So this is the procedure. And one important element for you to remember is that there are 6 months for proof submission, and within the convention, there are 3 months of grazing period, which means after the payment of import duties, which is a provisional payment, the provisional payment is paid after 6 months from the opening of the claim. This payment will become final in 3 months. So which means within the 3 months grazing period, NGA can still submit evidence. And in that case, if evidence are accepted, customs will refund the provisional payment. So basically, you have the 1 year to open a claim. NGA has 6 months to submit proof. After the 6 months, NGA will pay customs. But remember, there are still 3 months grazing period. Only after the 3 months, then the provisional payment becomes final. And if evidence was found like 1 year later, whatever, you don't need to accept that. So this is the principle.
Can a Carnet holder sell part of the items? For an example, I know most of our Carnet holders, they take this gems and jewelry for exhibitions, and sometimes in the exhibitions they sell part of it, but they pay the duty and so on. So how do you like the monitoring and so on? Can you enlighten us on it?
So the principle for ATA is for temporary admission, as you know, and if you wish to sell some of the goods in the country of import, then please consult customs in advance, because in some countries they do not allow the sale of Carnet goods, but in most countries they can convert temporary admission into definite importation, like declare for home use. Then in that case, customs will be able to, for example, if you sell the goods, you need to declare tax. You need to complete the formality for definite importation. And in that case, you bring all the formalities to customs. Customs will note down which item has been sold and whether the duties has been paid. And they will mention the link of ATA and the National Declaration for Importation. So for NGA, when they get your Carnet back, and they will check all the record, either the goods should become bring back to Sri Lanka, or the goods was sold and custom formality has been completed in the foreign country. And if all criteria met, then it's fine. But what is most important that before you sell, consult custom to see whether they accept to convert ATA goods into definite importation. And make sure to get the proper endorsement in your Carnet as evidence. That's the key.
Okay. Another question is partial movement of goods. Say, for example, for a project cargo, you bring machinery, and part of the machinery comes on one shipment, the other part comes in the second month on the second shipment. I'm sure it is possible, but just can you explain any issues that we may come across, or how it can be done?
Within the convention, there's one article, if my memory is correct, Article 12 of the Istanbul Convention, Annex A. Partial consignment for re-exportation should be fine, but partial exportation or importation is something not mentioned within the convention, so customs may decide. The best way is to make sure you have one Carnet and you, export, import in one settlement, and then you have a separate Carnet for the rest of part of the goods. But if you have already imported the, for example, 20 items into a country and you do separate, split re-exportation, normally it should be fine. But of course, the best way is to always consult in advance to avoid any problem. For my side, I don't record any special problem around the world for split re-exportation, but I do hear like a problem for split importation, split exportation.
Thank you. Also, there is another question which says, can the holder use a Carnet for transit alone? Now, for example, I know Carnet can be issued from, is it only to one country, or you can issue to one or two countries? Especially if it is exhibition, if they are going from one country to the other country, exhibiting and so on. So in one country, they may be just in transit to go to the other one. Can you enlighten us on that?
ATA Carnet can be used in multiple countries, multiple trips, multiple destinations, that's fine. But it can't be issued only for transit. For example, your goods will transit in China and then go to Russia, for example, fine. But if your exhibition is in Russia and you issue a Carnet only for transit, purpose is
right. Yes, understood. Just another question that just come in. Is there any option that ICC can work together with the International Freight Service Organization to deliver the parcels or samples during the COVID period? I think ICC Sri Lanka has had a few meetings with the Gem and Jewelry Authority and the Gem Exporters Association, and we are finding a solution for that. In fact, some of the agents in China have agreed now to work on it, and even in Singapore and so on. So some of the other countries also, we will be finding solutions for you all. ICC Sri Lanka will be there always to find solutions. All right. Any other questions from the panel before I close up?
What are the documents you need for if you are going to claim any claim?
Very good question. Yes.
For claim, actually, for ICC side, we only monitor the performance for NGA side. So we have standardized claim letters, standardized forms to be used among NGAs for communication. And then from customs to ICC Sri Lanka is the national practice. The format, we have no authority to determine the format of communication between customs and National Guarantee Association at your side. You can decide the proper format of communication. But what is important when you open a claim, please provide the importation voucher as the justification of that claim. Because one holder declare for ATA Carnet at the time of importation, Customs Office will detach the importation voucher as the declaration form. So when you open a claim, you provide a copy of the importation voucher as the justification for that claim, and then you I don't know what is the actual situation between your two to communicate on the claim. What we need is the correct number of the claim, the the date of importation and the date of validity and the amount of the duties and tax. If you already know how much will be the duties and tax, you can notify ICC Sri Lanka. So from the start, they know what to pay, how much to pay. And if you don't have the amount at the time when you open the claim, please make sure to notify the amount within 6 months. That's the upon the expiry of the 6 months. So at that time, ICC Sri Lanka will issue a letter G. I think ICC Sri Lanka know the term like we use for chamber communication. So when they issue the letter G to invite the foreign NGA to pay, they need to mention the accurate like the amount of import duty. So for your question, like the communication between customs and ICC Sri Lanka, I think you can work out the detailed procedure and the format. What is important for us is to have the importation voucher as the justification and put it together with the claim letter, then ICC Sri Lanka will be able to forward it to the foreign NGA.
Okay, just another question that just come in. As the whole world is moving towards remote working environment, what are the functions ICC planning to implement for this new order? I must say for ICC Sri Lanka, even when there was a lockdown in March, April, we work 24 hours. We are giving all these, there are people who are coming here, the numbers are given, they would come and give it. Even the country of origin certificate we are giving online. So most of the exporters who are using our country of origin certificates are using our facility. I mean, even from home, they are sending this, even if they don't come to work, but most of them, at least one person has been there always in the office. I think secondly, I think you all are implementing this digitalization. With that digitalization, this question will be answered for this person who has sent this question. Any other questions? Yes, Azmi.
Yeah, Shanil, I have a question. Actually, I have two questions. I'll try to, I hope Ms.Yuan will answer the question. One is that when we get a Carnet certificate from ICC Sri Lanka, they say that, for example, I'm going to China, our customs give 1 year, and you guys give me, basically ICC Carnet give 1 year period for us to work on this certificate. So when we enter into China or any other country, the officers sometimes they put, they validate it for 6 months. That could be a problem. For example, let's say that I am operating in a group of company. So let's say one of A representative takes to this material to Beijing, and he's stationed there, do a couple of shows. Then the A returns and the B goes to Shanghai, where by the time my agent in Shanghai gets the parcel and comes, by the time we do 3-4 shows, 6 months is gone. So whereas we had a couple of issues like that. Then we had an issue of, ICC helped us, but we had issues. So that's one of the issue. I have one more question. It's relative the same. For example, let's say you were explaining about losing documents. For example, let's say that I got a Carnet certificate validated by Katunai Airport when I'm leaving from Colombo. And unfortunately, when I am transiting in Hong Kong, I misplaced my bag or lost my document. I have the goods, but I lost the goods. So I go to Beijing or Shanghai and enter. When I inform the ICC Sri Lanka, with the grace, they always issue us a duplicate. But then the problem is when I come back to Sri Lanka with that duplicate document to Sri Lanka, how can I prove that the old document which is endorsed from Sri Lanka, which is missing, how do I prove this part? I know it's a complicated issue. I would like to get an answer from Ms.Yuan. Thank you.
Very good question. Yeah.
Okay. So for your first question, please always remember the difference between the validity of ATA and the time limits for re-exportation and the time limit for re-importation. So the validity is something defined under the convention. From chamber side, we can't issue a Carnet beyond 12 months validity. So this is for sure. And the time limits for re-exportation and re-exportation, this is something defined under the convention annex. For example, your goods is issued for exhibitions. Then under the Istanbul Convention Annex B1, it said the customs should allow 6 months. And then for professional equipment, the convention said 12 months. Commercial sample is 12 months. And in some country, they accept ATA under other conventions. They are not contracting party to Istanbul Convention. They are contracting party to ATA and the old convention for exhibition, for commercial sample, for blah, blah, blah. And some countries, they accept ATA under national law. So which means, for example, if your goods are entering, for example, Singapore, under their national law, the time of re-exportation is 3 months. So from ICC side, we can't unify that period because that is the customs decision and the convention, which convention they ratified. So basically, to make it simpler to understand, the ATA validity is like the validity of your own passport. For example, your personal passport may be valid for 10 years, I don't know, in each country. And then when you enter another country, you need a visa, right? So the visa is granted by the country. From ICC, we can't, impose something and to ask every country to give it until the end of the validity. So you have to pay attention on the, the time limit given by customs at that time. Each country has their own rules. This is, we hope the convention can unify themselves to make every deadline the same as the validity, but this is something we can't. And then for your second question regarding duplicate, for duplicate and replacement, the standard operation is that when you get a duplicate from the country of issue, from ICC Sri Lanka, you should provide a duplicate to Sri Lanka customs for validation of that duplicate. So customs will terminate the original, put all the record in your duplicate, and then you can be used as normal and all record will be complete. So that's the best practice, I would say.
Yes, thank you. One last question, I think. What is, can the, similarly now, okay, 1 year is normally under ICC rules, ATA Carnet rules, it's 1 year and or 12 months. But when it arrives in Sri Lanka for importation, can the customs increase it to more than that? Say, for an example, a project cargo that is coming where the project is going for 16 months. I'm not sure whether the customs gentleman could answer that question, whether there is any flexibility within themselves to extend it, though the ICAC Carnet document says 12 months, specifically when it is really needed for further than that.
No, we can't allow, because the validity of, we can't extend the time period beyond the validity of the Carnet certificate.
Yes, that's right. So
if,
I think that is very clear.
If the issuing authority issue a new Carnet or extend the validity of the Carnet, then we can accept it.
It's again work like the passport and the visa example.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah.
You can extend the visa.
Definitely. Yes. So thank you for all of the panelists who are there. And I'm very happy that Sri Lanka Customs is represented by more, I think around 7 gentlemen. Excellent to see you all guys coming and, giving us a lot of backing. And also the Gem and Jewelry Authority and the Export Development Board. And last but not least, Ms.Yuan Chai from ICC Paris. Thank you very much. And
thank you very much. It's a very useful session. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.